I'm all ears. What you got for me?
Coach, with Philip Roche this week,
Mhm.
how's that situation being handled? Is there suspension, or what's kind of your next steps with that?
Yeah, it's unfortunate situation for the young man. Obviously didn't live up to the standard that we set within the program, but we have a way that we handle things internally, and that'll be internal discipline. And if it comes to any type of situation that would rise above that, I would be sure and let you know. There is no internal or external suspension. He is being disciplined within the program, and we look forward to him making better decisions in the future, and everybody on our team now. Obviously, it was something that has shed light on some situation that all of us have to be aware of and be cognizant of how we represent the University of Missouri.
Eli, just through week one, just kind of overall, how did you feel about how it all went week one? Was there any areas you're specifically happy with, any areas you're maybe a little bit more concerned about?
Yeah, we're 5 practices in. A lot of sloppy football that is typical as you work your way through fall camp. You're never as far along as you'd like to be, but I think the players have had really good attitudes. I think they've tried to be very coachable. I think they've been very attentive to the details that the coaches have asked them. They've responded every time we've challenged them. So I've been pleased in those regards. Obviously, the execution is lacking. There's still a lot of open competition. I've been impressed with the way players have come in and attacked the competition. But 5 practices in, today we had some really good on good situations. And I know everybody's looking forward to the live scrimmage on Monday, where we'll know a little bit more about where we're at.
You had 2 questions on your offensive line. First off, how did you go about kind of deciding where you wanted to start Caden and starting him out at guard, and then at tackle, where do you stand with Bryant and Richardson? Kind of competing.
Oh,
with each
yeah.
other?
Well, Caden played the entire spring at tackle, and we just kind of let him see how he looked there, and then kind of tried to peek at what was best for him. He felt like he was a little bit more comfortable at guard. Doesn't mean we wouldn't slide him back out to tackle if we needed to, but he's looked really good in there. Obviously, he's getting to go against some really good guys right now. I think C7 and Christian Williams have been having a really good camp, so it's been good to see those guys be challenged. As far as Marcus Bryant and Javen, they're switching back every other day, and really we'll let that live scrimmage kind of tell us, where we're at. A lot of growth needs to be had, though, with the offensive line right now.
On the other side of the line,
Mhm.
defensive tackle, how are you kind of round out that 2 deep? Is there anyone that you've seen sort of through this first week of camp that's maybe stepping up to the plate now?
Yeah, I think Christian's back. He didn't play a whole lot in the spring, so he's been really dominant inside, especially in inside drill. Chris McClellan's kind of emerged, is playing really good football right now. Sterling Webb. And then that 4th, 5th D tackles right now between Jalen Marshall and Marquise Graciel. And, Marquise has really improved his game. We're really proud of him over the summer and the strides he made. And, again, we're 5 practices in, so we'll see. But so far, so good with that competition.
Staying on the D-line, Coach,
Okay.
A lot of the D-end attention has been on Winery,
Mhm.
but another new member is Darius Smith. What is he brought to the team so far, and how is he looking through the first couple practices?
Yeah, I've been really proud of that entire group. I think Zion Young and Johnny Walker have elevated themselves along with Darius. I think those 3 guys kind of stand out as far as, really understanding what we're doing down in, down out. I think Darius plays with an unbelievable motor, plays full speed. Zion Young had an incredible interception yesterday, tip ball that he ended up picking himself. So very impressed with the way those 3 guys are competing. I think Eddie Kelly had a fumble recovery today that was really impressive off a pass rush move. Joe Moore is continuing to show up and be sturdy and steady. So those, and Ja'Kai Lang's also been a guy. Those 6 are really where they're at right now, and the young guys, we're just trying to get them to understand how to play the game. We'll see again where they're at between scrimmage 1 and scrimmage 2, but those 6 really are kind of standing out for us.
And then just preliminary looks at the running back competition, you know, what do you hope to maybe see in that scrimmage on Monday from you guys?
Yeah, I think we've seen the first thing, which was protecting the quarterback. I think Marcus Carroll and Nate Noel and Jamal Roberts have really done an outstanding job protecting the quarterback. Jamal was Offensive Player of the Day yesterday just because a couple of really good runs, but really understanding protection. And that's where it starts for us up front. I think both him and actually Marcus and Nate had 2 explosive passes today off of a hard play action, getting into the flat late and then being able to open it up in space. So, those 3 guys have really done good. Kewan Lacey's been impressive. It's just going to be the volume of the playbook and how much he can understand. And Luke let T-Man get in there today with the 1s too, and he mixed it up pretty good. So competition's wide open. The thing that we really need to see is who can protect the football and make guys miss, and who's going to be able to break a tackle. Cody was pretty good that we could miss a few blocks and he would take care of the rest, once he got to the second level. So.
Coach, with Joshua Manning, what do you think his role could be this season? Maybe as one of those younger guys who break through in a really deep wide receiver room.
I mean, Josh is very consistent. I think he does a really good job of finding a role in special teams. We've really challenged everybody. Embrace your role, put the team first, find a place that you can help us. He's always helping in special teams, but he's done a great job in the wide receiver room. We've tried to be conscientious of Theo's rep count and yardage, and he goes in there and does exactly what he's supposed to do. So, been good.
I think I've seen Jude James at tight end and Austin Dindy with the safeties.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you go with those 2 positions for those guys since they came in as athletes?
Yeah, I mean, we always kind of knew that's where Jude would end up for us offensively. We felt like as an H-back, could play multiple positions. He's really physical, and we knew he'd provide value on special teams, and kind of feels like a natural fit for him. Austin Dindy, we just we liked his physicality, his build. We think he can play that position, with growth and development. Been very pleased with both of them.
Coach, Marvin Burks made a couple of big-time tackles in individual drills today. What have you seen out of him so far in fall camp, and what do you envision his role being this year?
Yeah, I didn't. I was down there with the D-line, so I didn't necessarily see those. But Marvin's been steady. Has been very consistent. Had a turnover yesterday. I got no predictions on what he's going to do. I just know he needs to continue to do what he's done up to this point, which is keep growing. Keep growing, keep being consistent in his daily approach, keep being coachable, and he's got all the talent he needs.
I know every job is open at this point, but Drew Pine is the idea when you bring him in that he can give you kind of an experienced backup quarterback, and how does that experience he's had kind of help him?
I've been very impressed and pleased with Drew. He's clearly the number 2 quarterback. There's no more competition on that. He's been really good. A great teammate, a great understanding of the offense, gets reps, understands when he screws it up, knows what he should have done, accurate with the football, battlefield commander as far as making sure the troops are lined up, knows where they're supposed to be. He's really been everything we had hoped. And so, it's been really good. It's awesome to have that consistency there, and the challenge for us is making sure we're getting him enough reps, and when we rotate him in and get him some 1 reps, which we will after the first scrimmage.
When you go to recruit a guy like that, I mean, what's the challenge of going to recruit a transfer quarterback when he knows you've got an established starter and his chance to be number 1 is probably a year away?
I think opportunity. He understood what the opportunity was, and he's been amazing about it. He prepares every day like at any moment he might have to get the call, and he's ready, and that's exactly what you want a teammate to be.
How much has he helped out just as a veteran going to be able to help those young guys along?
Yeah, I'm sure it's been a lot. I don't know. I haven't. You'd have to ask Kirby that question.
Coach, has there been any clarity up to this point? Obviously, there's not camp left, but who will be returning kicks and punts this year?
We haven't got to the kick return phase yet. Obviously, I think Kewan, Nate Noel, Josh Manning, Marquise Johnson, all those guys will get a crack at it. T-Man. I'm sure I'm leaving some off. as far as punt return, Theo Weiss, Luther Burden, Daniel Blood, Courtney Crutchfield, James Madison, Marquise Johnson have been the primary punt returners, just working. And we'll see, obviously you can't work that many, but I think all of those guys are continuing to show consistency in doing it. They're trying to take every rep as a game rep. And we had a lot of trash yards last year where we didn't field punts and it inhibited our field position. And so the challenge for us is to make sure we're catching the punt and eliminating trash yards.
Is taking extra hits, wear and tear for a guy like Luther or Marquise, a starter, is that a factor there, or is that something more that
As a punt returner?
Yeah, I mean, is that something you factor into who wins the job?
The conversation that I've had with Coach Link about that is, we have so many guys who are really good with the ball in their hand that we have to get these guys touches in return units, because you can't always guarantee you're going to be able to get them a touch, especially with our quarterback running the ball or our run game, needing 25 to 35 runs a game. Like, you're going to have to figure out how to get somebody else some touches. So the ability to get Marquise a touch in the return game, or Josh Manning or Theo or Luther, does factor in the fact that those guys can change the game.
The wide receiving corps had a lot of buzz with so many returners, but another guy that's coming back that'll be catching passes is Brent Norfleet. What does he look like so far, and how do you expect his role to expand in year 2?
Yeah, he's been a consistent physical player like he's always been. He's really trying to learn the offense, or learn the nuances of the offense and understand how to work with Brady. So I anticipate that he'll fulfill his role really well, and he'll make the play when the play's needed to be made.
Eli, you talked about last week with Brady the need for him to just be able to finish those closer games in those high-pressure situations, and that was obviously a factor in the 2 losses last season. Is there any way you can kind of continue to simulate that even more in the 2-minute drill, and where's kind of the biggest area you can go to improve on that?
I don't remember saying that, but yeah, obviously, yes, we can simulate it more. We actually start with 2-minute before half tomorrow, and we'll get that specifically in the scrimmage, and then we will start working towards in-the-game scenarios. And yeah, I mean, I think you got to just keep sending them back up. Like, the more and more reps you get at it, the more comfortable you'll be, the lower your heart rate will be, and the more you can focus on execution. But crud last year, obviously K-State led us to a win, Florida led us to a win. So, he's been in those situations, and I mean, first game of his career started at Army, let us down behind to take the lead there. So, he's been a very effective quarterback in those 2-minute situations. But obviously, got to continue to grow and get better at it.
Coach, has there been any early enrollees who were in the spring where you've seen kind of develop, and you can kind of see that progression in this first week of fall camp?
Yeah, I think Trajan Greco is a guy that you definitely knew came early in the way he handles himself. I think he's really been a bright spot. Cam Keys has done a nice job, was very physical. And I think that was, he understand, yesterday or 2 days ago when we put the pads on, he already knew what it was going to take and the physicality you had to play with. Trying to think of who else came early, but those guys. Oh well, Talon Chandler. He's actually done a really nice job. Caleb Pyfrin. Both of those guys have really done a nice job. Talon coming along.
Eli, the rule change with more people being able to do on-field coaching.
Been awesome.
How have you seen that kind of impact what you can do and get done in practice? And I know guys like Evan Bain, Brock, some of the former players being able to be more hands-on. How big a deal is that?
Yeah, it's been good. As long as we're all speaking the same language, and that's the challenge. Is everybody has expertise, but we all have to be saying the same thing. We can't be giving different messages, because then it just creates confusion for our players. But I think the cohesiveness of the staff, the alignment of the staff has allowed for us, obviously, Coach Yaro's coaching with the safeties. It allows Coach Batoon to take the stars and work specific individual, and then allows Coach Yaro to take the 2 safeties and work on more high safety principles and stuff, which I think has been really good. Obviously, our D tackles with Coach Blackwell and Coach Davis has been awesome. So it's just allowed for more individual coaching and quicker player development, I think.
A big change for college football this year is the implementation of iPads on the sidelines. Have you guys started using those in practice yet, and how do you expect them to be a useful tool come games?
Yeah, I think they'll be a very useful tool. Obviously, the players are used to it because that's normal in college and high school football, and so it just made sense for us to be able to utilize that. And we have a plan. I think that's going to be a key is making sure we have a process for handling information and getting the information communicated from coach to coach and then coach to player.
Got time for 2 more, okay?
With that, when you're doing these scrimmages, are you working on in-helmet communication and having that set up for these, or how's that kind of implementation going?
Yeah, we do helmet-to-helmet communication every day in practice. Biggest challenge is right now we don't have the kill switch to turn the communication off at 15 seconds, so it's just me yelling out there that it's off. But I think it's just one of those things that's going to be new, and figuring out what they can handle, what they can't handle, but it's, we use it every day. We use it in walkthroughs. We used it all summer. We're trying to get as acclimated as we can to it.
Coach, you talked at media day about fixing the red zone, trying to get more touchdowns and stuff like that to start in practice with the red zone work. How has that gone so far?
Yeah, so our first 3 days were in the red zone, and now we've expanded out to the open field. We'll actually get back in the red zone tomorrow and get a little bit in the scrimmage on Monday. But I thought it's been good. Obviously, it serves to protect our players from overusage and get them acclimated to the yardage. It causes everybody to play quicker because everything happens quicker in the red zone. The break points of routes, the ball has to come out, the rushing, the blitzes. So it's been good for our guys to feel that intensity and urgency. Obviously, it's not always executed the way you want to because it's the first 3 out. So, but they've got a great foundation of what it is and what we're trying to do, and then it's just about continue to add on and build to it.
Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you all.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.